tonight's episode of the Gamecasters, we interview Ben and Emily, Instagram users Date Night Dice, about their Instagram account, Date Night Dice. Stay tuned. Hi there, gamers. We're here with Ben and Emily, co-runners of the charming and clever Instagram account at Date Night Dice. Ben and Emily are working parents constantly on the move, yet through this account, they're staying connected with each other through game nights at their place. They get some drinks, turn on their phones, settle in for a night of games, which they share via Instagram stories to the delight of all of their followers, us included. Thanks for being here, guys. We have just a couple questions we'd love to ask you. So tell us a bit about yourselves. Where are you from? How long have you been together? What do you guys do for a living? How many kids do you have? How much money do you make after taxes per year? You know, stuff like that.
Well, maybe we'll leave some of those details out. But yeah, thanks for having us on. We're from Midland, Michigan, which, just like it sounds, is in the middle of Michigan. I am an engineer by trade. I do automation, actually, for chemical processes, which is not nearly as exciting as it sounds.
Because it does sound really exciting.
Does it sound exciting?
Yeah. I don't know if it sounds exciting.
Automation?
It's like
clay. I'm just thinking claymation.
So
I'm going to think you're a claymation engineer.
That's way cooler.
So you work for Pixar, Ben? Is that right?
Sure. No, it's, like keep a reactor at 90 degrees. That's my job, is make sure that happens.
Wait, so you're Homer Simpson?
I thought that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I make the computer that Homer runs. That's what I do.
Wow. Awesome. Okay. Emily, what do you do?
Well, I'm a professional mom these days.
Sweet.
But,
awesome.
I have a photography business on the side, but I mean, for the most part, it's stay at home with the kids, run them here and there, do all that.
Awesome. What kind of photography stuff do you do?
I currently do like business stuff and social media editing, all that extra stuff that I can do from home pretty much.
Oh, that's cool.
So headshots of Ryan. Is that what we're looking for?
Yeah,
I really could use some
We can make that work.
She runs my brother's Tinder account, that sort of thing.
Okay,
Yeah, if people want some private account.
That's so great. How did you guys meet?
We met in college. We kind of had a similar group of friends. Like, imagine two groups of friends as a Venn diagram that slightly overlapped. And we had known each other a long time and eventually got together right at the end of school. So we were together when I was in grad school, and Emily was up there working. Actually, she was doing a lot of professional photography work up there.
Yeah.
And then we moved on to Midland right out of grad school with a baby.
Yeah.
That was 2011. So We've been married. We got married 2010.
Here's the test.
Yeah.
Do you know?
10 years this year.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Where'd you guys go to school?
I went to Michigan Tech, and Emily went to Northern Michigan.
Nice.
Oh, nice.
All right. Go Wildcats.
Yep.
Okay, I was like, I have no idea what the mascot is for those.
Oh yeah.
I don't even think I remember the mascot.
I forget. But Michigan Tech's got a good hockey team. That's all I know.
Yeah. They're D1 in hockey and D2 and everything else.
Are they? I have
D2, the Mighty Ducks?
Yeah.
Like that kind of thing?
There you go.
I thought so.
Is
How many?
the
Do you guys
one?
just have one? Do you have one kiddo?
We have 3 kids.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Oh,
just like
I knew
you.
that. I knew that.
No, we have a 9-year-old, almost 6-year-old, and then a 3-year-old.
Oh my gosh, that's almost exactly the ages of my kids.
Yeah.
An 8-year-old, a 6-year-old, and a 3-year-old.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah. So you understand though.
Oh, I understand.
It's insane.
Believe me, I understand. When I don't know if it was Ben or Emily that texted, we're going to put the kids together militantly quick to get to the interview.
Yeah.
I understand that completely because the bedtime process here takes somehow it takes 25 hours and there's only 24 hours a day.
Yeah, tonight we have gymnastics. So I was at 2 hours of gymnastics and then a 20-minute drive home. And then it was straight to get in bed immediately so that we could do this. So
well, we really appreciate it. For listeners out there who don't know, Ben and Emily run an Instagram account called Date Night Dice, and it's super fun. What they do is they chronicle basically their game nights on an Instagram story. And why is it so compelling?
I don't know, but it is.
It's like,
and I watch it and I just laugh and I giggle and I'm like, look, we're friends. I pretend like you guys are my friends as I'm watching it. I'm like,
really
why can't we be there?
What would I say in that situation?
Well, because you go through the whole night, you feel like you're there.
Yeah.
And then, you're fun and entertaining and you play games that we're interested in. So it's
and you
fun
boomerang
to watch.
everything, and boomerangs just inherently are like watching a cat watching.
I say people love cats, people love wine.
That's true.
Well, that's
true.
like super encouraging. I mean, like the whole thing started because we were watching, or I was mainly, YouTube videos about gaming and listening to podcasts. And I was like, man, a lot of these show how the game is played, but nobody is showing why it's fun to play games.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a great point.
It is. You're showing like the fun part of it.
Right.
Not like the rules
the
part.
the players part.
Right.
Like we're having a good time being together playing the game. You know?
Right.
So that's maybe that's why it's so compelling, because honestly, there's not anybody else that I see that does that. You know, you inspired Natalie and I to do that like a week or two ago, and it was really fun. I had a blast doing that. You know what I mean? We're definitely stealing your idea.
Well, you credited
please
them.
go for
Right.
it. It's just us drinking and playing games, so I don't think we can take too much credit here.
Jeff, you want to ask this one here?
Well, first of all, you've avoided my main question by my first question to you is going to be, why don't you follow me on Instagram? But I think since we sent you the question list, you have done so.
Absolutely.
Okay, I remember.
We had been jokingly, but not jokingly, angry about this for months.
Back and forth, we're like, they have to follow us at some point. Like, how many times are we going to message them until they follow one of us?
No. So honestly, you guys, like, we read the question list, and at the end, I'm like, what are they talking about? And then I checked, and I'm like, what? We don't follow. Like, I was like embarrassed, and I'm like, I swear we used to follow. Like, and I was like, but honestly, I was like, what are they, crazy? Is this a joke? And then I realized we don't. So.
Yep. Right. Super elitist date night dicers.
Sorry.
So I do have a real question. So I'm a new father. I have a 6-month-old at home who's in bed. I am curious of, like, how do you guys have so much energy nightly or every other night to play games?
That's my number one question. Every time we watch that, I'm like, how do they have so much energy? They just spent the whole day working or with their kids, and now they're like, it's 8:00 or something at night, and they're like enthusiastic about playing this game, and I'm like struggling.
Right, we fall face first into our food right after the kids go to sleep.
He's like, you want to play a game? I'm like, I do, but how long is it gonna take?
Right. It's only 20 minutes. No, it's too long.
Yeah.
We can't do it. You guys are like bouncing off the walls. I see Ben's like doing these. What was he doing the other day on the story where he had this? He was balancing a wine glass or something on his forehead. And he goes down and he gets back up and it's like midnight or something.
Brian's like, they must be in shape. Did you see that thing?
Either that or they're on lots of drugs.
Well, you know, we get to pick and choose the nights that we put stuff online, right? I mean, there's definitely those nights. And we have played games where we are like, man, maybe we should just put this away.
Yeah. Or, I mean, like, I'm like, nobody wants to watch this because it's like us, you know, doing that sleepy half game where we're like, should we finish? Because we're, you know, just not into it. But the nights that we know we're going to play, I feel like we choose that in the morning so that by the evening, it's like I've tried to like amp myself up essentially. And also, I mean, once you have like music and, you know, a drink and we get out snacks and then it's, you know, you're a little bit happier to get to the table to play.
Right. Yeah, that's a good point.
That's something to look forward to at the beginning of the day.
That's true.
Something to look forward to throughout the day.
Exactly.
All right,
So especially if you're both into games.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
That's true.
Yeah, Ben will usually say, hey, do you want to play tonight? And I'll pick 3 or 4 games that I would be fine playing, and then he'll choose one. So it's kind of, we both get to pick a little bit, but...
A twist on you pick, I choose.
I'd be cool with any of these 3.
Yeah.
Right.
Because otherwise it's Ben going, well, do you want to do this? Do you want to do this? Do you want to do that? And I'm going, the whole time. So this way
it's like, what do you want to eat tonight? Is that whole conversation?
Exactly.
Right.
I don't care. Okay, fine, we'll get pizza. No.
I want that.
Yeah.
I've picked out almost every single one of these games. So I look at the shelf and I go, well, I would play any one of these. You know, so it's like, well, you go down there and tell me what you want to play.
You give me whatever you want to do.
Yeah.
You guys both seem to be into the games the same amount. Was it always like that? Was one of you like responsible for getting the other one into the hobby? How did your gaming lives start together?
I don't even think it's like that now. Emily.
She's what?
I mean,
That's not.
It's definitely more my hobby than hers. And that's a little bit about like why the Instagram works so well. And it was kind of one of the conversations we had as we had more kids and Emily was at home more. It was harder to do. She did like video editing a lot in the past. And it was hard to do that kind of stuff outside of the house. And I had been playing board games, and I love board games. So we said, well, why don't we make some YouTube videos of us playing games, and then you could edit them and stuff. And what ended up happening was it's so much work.
Yeah.
Well, it's not even that it's so much work. It's that it's an additional time period. The nice thing about Instagram stories especially is you can edit in real time. So while we play the game, we're editing the video of the game playing, and it's all happening at once.
Sure.
But originally it was YouTube videos, and somewhere out there, secretly,
No,
we saw some YouTube videos of us playing games. But
we saw.
Oh, man.
Yep. Well, we saw. Okay, maybe we didn't see much. I know, or maybe you just posted it. Maybe that's what we saw.
I was like,
I saw the intro.
I think you guys
like
posted the
the
intro.
animation.
That's right.
That was super cool. Who made that, and how did that happen?
Cool.
I just had the idea and we made it one night. I essentially told Ben what to do, and then I made it.
yeah, that intro.
What did you use? Did you?
I just used my
After Effects or something?
No.
Premiere
What is it?
and
Yes, it was just
Okay.
Premiere.
It was super impressive.
Well, maybe I
It
did
was.
photo. I don't know.
she's,
It's Adobe.
She
just
does
because
better
that's-
work than she admits.
Agreed. Yeah, you just threw it together. Whatever. It was the most professional thing I've ever seen in my life. Who cares?
I stay at home mom. I get beaten down by the kids all day. I don't have much at the end of the day.
Right. Your spirit is broken. I completely understand.
But, as much as like gaming has been sort of more my hobby than hers, we certainly started together. And I think that's kind of an interesting thing worth bringing up. When we moved here, we didn't really know anybody. And I swear it was either day 1 or 2 at my job. And somebody said, hey, I have a board game night once a week. Why don't you come? And he gave me the email invitation, which had a link to his Board Game Geek collection. And I was like, what the heck is Board Game Geek? And what are all these games?
Right.
So I clicked on his collection, and then I clicked on a game, whatever, and it had a ranking in the upper right, I think. And I clicked on the ranking, and then I got to the ranking of all the games, and I said, whoa, this is super cool. And I bought number 1 and number 2, which at the time were Through the Ages and Agricola.
Yeah.
Through the Ages didn't work so good as
didn't
a
pass my
two-player.
test.
That's pretty heavy beast.
Yeah, that's a big one to
But-
start off with.
Yep.
Yeah.
Man, we played the heck out of Agricola. We
We
just
did
played
do
that over
Agricola.
and over and over again we probably, I don't say probably, I know because I counted the score sheets. I think we played that like 50 times.
Whoa.
Well, I mean, it was, once again, we moved here. We knew no one.
Sure.
I think
Right.
You had
Our
nothing to do.
daughter was 3 months old, I think.
Your first daughter, yeah.
Yeah. And so it was like, I'm now just staying at home with a 3-month-old. Ben has a new job, and at the end of the night, we don't know anyone, can't go anywhere. And so it was like, well, let's play the board game again. So
Wow. What is there to
Cool.
do? Like, I don't know much about Midland. What's around there? Is there like a big city there?
No, well, I mean, not really. I mean,
Yeah.
Saginaw is,
there's
Kind
Saginaw
of
and Bay City,
big.
which are close.
which
and
we never go there,
We
though.
never go. I mean, there's a lot of family stuff in Midland, and since the kids are so little, so we pretty much stay here.
There's
Yeah, I
a lot of parks,
Yeah.
nice schools, that kind of stuff, but not a lot of like
Like an advertisement
I'm
for
a
Midland.
young 20s, what am I going to do sort of
Yeah,
thing.
there's nothing.
right.
like that.
No nightlife.
No.
Right, your nightlife was Agricola. It sounds
Yes,
like.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
We like,
16th century farming.
Yeah.
there's nightlife around here, and we
Yeah.
still play games.
Yeah,
Right,
absolutely. That's-
exactly.
right.
So
I mean, with 3 kids, you can't really have a nightlife.
Yeah.
yeah.
You know? So
But-
what kind of games are you both into? Are you into the same kind of stuff? Like, Emily, do you like different styles of games than Ben does? I see from stalking your account that Ben looks like you paint miniatures and stuff and play miniatures games. Emily, are you into that stuff? Like, how does your gaming tastes coalesce?
Well, Ben definitely likes the heavier games. And
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I don't do miniatures, so he's done that with other friends and whatnot. I am not a big fan of storytelling games as much.
Yeah, he was mentioning that. Okay.
Yeah, so I'm much more like a medium weight. Let's find the best way to get this done and win. And
What do you
Yeah.
have against the story?
I don't know. I feel like I can't focus. It's like I'm back in school and I'm like
Yeah.
daydreaming away, and then Ben's like, "You ready?" And I'm like, "Sure," and I haven't paid attention. I don't know.
I have spent years roaming the board game world with a shotgun, trying to refine it to a sniper rifle of the things Emily will play with me. I think I've finally figured it out. It's got to be a medium weight Euro game
Yeah.
where what you do to get victory points is clear, but not how you should do it, right?
Yeah.
Sure.
But if it's like a game where it's not even clear what you should do at all, like let's
Brass?
say, for example, Brass Birmingham.
Right.
Whoa, that fell flat. And I worked so hard the other day to read the rule book for Lisboa. And I was like, ooh, this is going to be great.
Yeah,
Set it all up.
You guys already know the outcome, like just with that.
Right.
Ooh, like.
Well, we played that.
We did that. He explained the rules. It felt like a lecture for an hour and a half.
Yeah.
And then I was like, I feel like I just played it.
She's like, I
We
can just
didn't even
log this as
start.
played now.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, those are the rules.
Exactly.
I'm exhausted.
That's exactly what it was like. Where when he got done,
I wanted to play it so bad, though. It
Ben, it's
seems
so
cool.
good.
No,
It's
when
so
he got
good.
done, I was like, if you could have let me read like the first paragraph, and I could have told you this is a no, right? Like, I'm sorry, but no. I was
Ben
like,
did
what do
tell
you
me-
want me to do? I just sat there. I don't know.
Ben did tell me that's the first game that he wants to play on his shelf of shame.
The shelf of shame has gotten very small lately, partly because we purged a lot of games, and then we played the rest that we had unplayed to see if we should sell them. So it's so small. It's Lisboa, and it's maybe that trick-taking game Moons, and that's about it.
I mean, you don't have to rub it in.
Good.
Yeah.
We have
Well-
like 30.
Well,
We
if
had a
I
lot.
had the
They've
purse
heard.
strings, it probably wouldn't be the case.
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, what's your collection like? How many games do you guys have?
I think right now we are at, not counting expansions. Hold on, I did a little research.
You doing?
Yeah.
We got 142 games right
Okay.
now.
Oh, that's a
Okay.
decent
That's
a
sized
good
It's a
collection.
good collection. It's
And
funny.
we-
Some people might hear that and be like, "Oh my gosh, these people are freaks. How do they have so many games?" But like in the game community, that's modest.
normal. That's like
You know what I mean?
average.
That's
Yeah.
I feel like I'm like the mom of the game community. I'm like, that's crazy. I'm like the old lady where I'm like, what, you kids? Like,
That's perfect.
And
You
then,
could
yeah,
play
Ben's
each
the
game
teenager
2
telling me what to
times
do.
every year. That's
Yep.
a good number.
you like did the math? Like what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep, exactly.
So like, what are some of your favorite games, Emily? I'm just curious.
Let's see. Okay, I did a list because I knew I would never remember.
Yeah, it sounds like her taste aligned with you.
I bet I could guess this list without
well,
looking
let's-
at it.
Let's do that.
Yeah.
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 Good
Okay.
idea.
Emily,
But
don't show him the list.
I'm not showing
Is it
them.
5 games?
Well, I just wrote down a bunch. So you
If it
just,
had to be 5 games, it would be
5
All
Emily
right.
games.
Top 5 Emily games.
Tapestry.
Orleans,
yes,
Oh, that's a good
nice.
one. Okay.
All right.
Viticulture,
yes,
Okay.
Okay.
Wingspan.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Maybe
we-
one of those tile laying games by Uwe Rosenberg.
I wrote-
Spring Meadow.
I wrote Tile Games by. I wrote these.
Oh,
man,
Yeah, this is-
Adorable.
this is pretty adorable.
Yeah.
One more.
One
then
more.
that I have
You
to
just have
guess.
to name one more.
Oh boy, I don't know.
Got it, Ben.
You
Come
can do
on.
this.
Do it. Don't choke. Don't choke.
Seven Wonders Duel.
I didn't put that down, but that's a
Oh.
really good one. I
What
do
is
like
it?
that one a lot. I put some like Century Spice games I like a
Ooh,
lot.
Those are good.
But then I put some like I like the unlocks and like when we
Oh,
do
yeah.
together, those are
Mm,
fun.
yeah, that's-
Yep.
And then I put like as a group game Monikers.
Monikers
Yes.
is so
That's
good.
hilarious.
Monikers is so good.
That one
How
is-
often do you guys get to play with more than just you two?
Well,
Like a-
I see they have a friend sometimes.
Oh, come on.
No.
I mean, it's not always just them.
The problem though is because our friends also have kids. One of them has to stay home with kids.
There can
Oh,
only be-
right.
So it's always just 3, like whatever, unless, it's somebody gets babysitters and this and that. But so
Yeah.
it's usually still just 3. So we still can't do Monikers.
But it is
Right.
regular. Our friend Ken comes over every Thursday, and we play. Right now we're playing Clank Legacy, so there hasn't been a lot of date night dice of that because you can't show it. You
Yeah,
can't
right.
show
A
it.
lot of
Oh
it.
yeah.
Kind of limited that.
But
Yeah,
Ken
but
comes
honestly,
over.
what I think's the most fun is you two. It's great seeing the game being played, but it's more fun. I mean, this is personally for me anyway. It's more fun watching Emily take videos of Mao or of Ben, and he's just like doing a little jig in his chair as he's like looking at his
Or
pieces.
she's like in your face.
Yeah, or like, she puts the date night dice on her eyes that scroll by, and there's like a boomerang of her just moving her head back and forth. That's, for some reason, that's what I enjoy the most. It's just
Right.
watching you guys.
Yeah, it may be weird, but I agree. It's like, and I love that you both are on the same account at the same time. So you'll go back and forth, and Ben will be videotaping you, Emily, and Emily will be videotaping Ben,
Yeah.
and it makes us feel like we're there.
Yeah. So while I think the format that you guys do is super awesome, it's you two that makes it really good. And I think if anybody else did what you did, it
Like
wouldn't
us?
be. It wouldn't. Yeah, like us. It wouldn't be as
We
good
failed.
because we're just not as
much better.
compelling as you two.
Oh, come on,
Adorable
give
sons of
yourselves more credit.
Yeah. No, I saw you guys playing.
bitches.
No, I don't. People will say that, and I just want to be like, why? Like,
I get that.
I understand completely how you feel. I don't know. I mean, it's just you guys are just you just have really good personalities that come through really well on video. So what else besides
good to hear.
board games do you guys do?
Well, and that's the problem why I don't have the purse strings, because what don't I do? I have a little too many expensive hobbies. That's the problem.
All right, let's hear
So-
it. So you got board games, miniatures.
I got board games.
Sex Dungeon,
I
all that
dabbled in some
Whoa.
Games Workshop games, which is way too expensive. I had to stop that.
Yeah.
Plus, Age of Sigmar is okay. I still play Warcry, which luckily that's just a skirmish game. So hey, we're talking like 10 models instead of 50.
And you paint all of them?
I do okay. I mean, my painting was kind of like when I was super, like I think a lot of people get this way when they like really get into board games at first. It's like you can't get enough. And I was like, how can I make board games a part of my life every day of the week? And I was like, I could paint all the stuff inside. And so I started painting. And then I was like, wow, this is cool and fun. And I like painting some like Simon stuff was fun. But I was like, what if I got really into like actual miniatures and building them? And that's kind of like what led me to Games Workshop. There's that. And then outside of gaming, it's like I bike a lot. So bikes are expensive. I run a lot, and sign up for races is expensive. And I'm trying to make a home gym, and weights are expensive. And it's like, oof, I can't do all this stuff.
You gotta pick
At
one.
least according to my wife.
Yes.
You should
That's
just
the voice
save
of
all
reason.
the punch boards that you punch out of your games. Eventually, you'll have enough to bundle them up, and you can create a dumbbell with
There you
punch
go.
boards on either
That's
side.
what I need.
And then boom, home
There
gym.
you
That's the thing. Yeah, whenever he says he doesn't have enough weight, I say just add a child to each side or something, and we can save a little money each day.
You're right.
You know,
They need to
those
weigh the
punch
same,
boards
though.
No, but I mean, I think most of our hobbies that would be together would be going outside and hiking, and we have dogs and whatnot too. So in winter, though, it's very limited.
Yeah,
In
indoors.
Michigan.
Right.
Yeah, indoor hiking up and down the stairs.
More
You
gaming.
can only go out on certain days, so
Well, it's very flat around here. There's not a lot of skiing,
that's
unfortunately.
true. We don't have much of that.
Livonia is a pretty flat place where I live too, so don't worry. So I have a question about your kids, and I'm curious if they're showing a lot of interest in games. I saw that with one of your daughters, you were playing, I think it's Ella or Isla and something shiny. I think you were playing the other night, which I actually got a copy of too, which is kind of cool. So I'm curious of like how they're enjoying games, if you play with them, what kind of games they're into, stuff like that.
Well, it's interesting how different they are. Our oldest daughter was going to be the gamer, right?
It's gonna be you
she
wish.
was like,
is
I
what-
was getting into games as she was getting old enough to play. And I was like, here we go, right? So I got
happening.
Mice and Mystics.
Yeah, exactly.
I bought stuff
I had that too.
tables. I got Crossmaster Arena, right? I was like, here we go, let's do this. And she was like, I just want to play The Sims
Yeah.
Oh.
and
She,
Minecraft.
she would rather like design a house in Sims. I mean, she still enjoys board games, but not the same way that Ben's hoping.
Like, I didn't read you right. Let's make another one.
Exactly.
You have
But-
2 more tries, Ben.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's the thing. Like, Isla and the shiny something shiny. Our middle daughter, she
likes that a lot. She's been asking to play it nonstop, in which case I'm like, I don't have time right now. I'm sorry. Like, but she is just starting to read because she's in kindergarten. So it's starting to get where she can actually play games and read the cards without someone having to sit next to her and kind of help her.
Yeah.
So that's getting where I feel like she's starting to want to do more things then for games.
Yeah, she was like, can we just keep playing this? Can I play this again? And I was like, well, we don't have any more of the chapters. And she's like, that's fine. I'll just play them over again. And
Yeah,
I was like,
she-
oh my gosh.
Like, well, that's not
my
okay,
shining
cool.
Your
star,
heart.
the hero of my life.
Yeah.
You're like, you're my favorite.
Apple of my eye.
Downstairs, and let me show you all the other games
But see,
that we
then
have.
you get too excited and you're like, now let's start this. And all the kids, like the other day, you were trying to read, what was it, Mice and Mystics?
Well,
the start,
right.
and all the kids were losing their minds about. They're like, "Can we be done?" And they're like crying on the couch, this and that. And I was like, "Tonight is not the night. Like, just stop now."
But there's
Please, can we just do homework?
Yeah, they were. I think they were honestly just tired, but it was
Sure.
trying to be like, "Let's talk about this board game," and they're tired and
so
like.
disappointing.
You get over
It
here
was-
and have fun with me right
I was
now.
so defeated, and I'm like, just stop.
But like we've played, she really likes Potion Explosion. She does
Mhm.
okay. New York Slice, if you guys have ever played that. That's an I Split You Choose game.
Yep.
And then My Little Scythe.
Yeah,
We've played with the girls a couple of times.
That's awesome. Have you heard of the new Zombie Kids game?
No.
I have not.
It is really cool. It's kind of like a legacy game that kids can play.
Oh, I have heard of that game.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I got it for my niece for Christmas. I know Jeff just played it, I think.
Yeah, I just played it with my niece.
With your niece.
Okay.
And it's really simple. So basically, you're just kicking zombies out of this school that come in. But when you win, you put stickers on like the back of the rule book. And then once you get so many stickers, you get to unlock envelopes and stuff that give you new abilities and new cards and new rules and new powers. But it's presented in a way that it's really good for, I think, kids. Certainly, your 9-year-old would be able to handle it.
Yeah, your niece is 9.
Yeah,
Played it.
So it's really good. It's nice and expensive one for kids.
I think, what did we get Liv for Christmas? Oh, sushi roll. And she really likes that. And then we got, it's a Parks. Oh my god.
Oh, it was like a theme park, but it's a tile laying game.
I don't remember what. Where you roll dice. We got it for our 5-year-old.
It's a hobby game where you try to cover up your board with tiles.
But they really liked that one. It's simple, awesome. But I mean, it's one of those that they could play it by themselves, which is nice because it's not reading cards and all. So they really like that one a lot too.
Sure.
And our youngest one likes Go Away Monster, but that's because he's 3. So I mean.
Yeah.
And we also have had that game for like 10 years though, so half of the pieces are missing, and it's
definitely
not.
8 plus on
You guys got to get Strike. Just order Strike right after we get done. Just go on Amazon, order it.
Your 3-year-old could play it.
Yeah, don't even look it up. Just go Amazon, Strike, order that sucker.
And pay it's $12 for shipping, but just do it. If you hate it, we'll Venmo you $12.
Yep.
We'll take you up on that, Ben.
It is the most fun you'll have doing anything.
Your kids will love
really
it.
Fun.
It's a blast.
It's just throwing dice. It's very simple.
Do you guys have like a fancy Strike bowl you roll into that you've built to look like an arena or something?
No, we just use the regular old box. I'm kind of bummed that you've heard of it now, Ben.
We'll cut this part out.
Yeah, I just wish that. Well, I should have guessed I should have guessed because you guys I know are avid listeners of the podcast. So I should have completely guessed that you've listened to it by.
You guys were talking about Strike on your most recent podcast, so.
We talk about it.
Whoa, time out. Does that mean you're listening?
Wait. Let's start over.
Let's go back. We gotta go. Let's go back. Roll back the tape.
All right. What'd you say now?
You went from not following me on Instagram to now listening to our podcast?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
And then I am very particular about podcasts, and I listen to yours. In fact, I listened to the most recent one tonight. I listened to a different one the other day, but I listened to the most recent one tonight when I was sitting at gymnastics because I had 2 hours to spare there. And it was really good because I normally like gaming stuff is not. I enjoy playing games. I don't enjoy like researching or looking up, but I enjoyed it. I really did.
Oh my gosh! What was your favorite moment? Who's your favorite host? I'm just kidding. So guys,
that's awesome.
No, that is so awesome. We really appreciate
I mention that all the time because there's so many different types of listeners. People who are just like all about games, and then people who are just kind of into games but want something entertaining as well that can hold their attention. And so it's really cool to hear that. We can cater to everyone.
That just made my night. We can stop recording.
Yep.
Now they know you guys listen.
We don't even need it anymore. Yeah, we just wanted them to like us, and now that's all that happens.
Yeah. Like us.
Yeah.
All right.
Please follow us now. Be our friend.
The following thing was a mistake. I'm telling you, it was probably most likely my fault because I feel like half the time I tell Ben not to like touch it because I feel like he mixes up his Instagram and ours and like.
Can I tell you something funny that I thought? Okay, so when I initially reached out to you guys to do the interview, I told Jeff and Natalie. I'm going to tell them this part.
Yeah,
I was like, hey, what do you guys think about if I reach out to Date Night Dice and we interview them? Because again, we're all kind of big fans of you guys, and I thought that I completely creeped you out. Because I was like texting you and I was like, yeah, I can come over to your house and we can just record that way. And then you guys just said nothing for like a week and a half, and I was like, I just totally creeped them the F out. I read it to them and they were like, what are you doing?
No.
That
we're
wasn't
like,
the
man,
case.
How convenient would that be?
It was more like I read it and we're like, that's really cool, and then it was probably like a child got sick and I completely forgot. And it was one of those where then one day I was like, oh my gosh, I haven't wrote back to that. And I like was like panicking and it wasn't at all like that.
No, that's okay. It was really funny. When you ultimately responded, I was able to stop going to therapy and taking those pills.
Anxiety attacks and everything.
Yeah, exactly. My nervous tick went away. I was taken off of the.
He was really in a better place once you responded.
Into what you did to him.
It's mainly me like during the day being like, yeah, cool, and then somebody needs mac and cheese, and then I forget about it.
Yeah.
So
believe me, I can relate to that. So let me ask you this, guys: what is the future for the Date Night Dice Instagram account? Are you looking to expand into any other mediums? I know you talked about you did that YouTube thing. I don't know if you have any plans to go back doing that. Are you just happy doing what you're doing? I know time is a huge issue, obviously, with you have 3 kids and stuff. But have you thought about what is next, if anything, or are you just again happy with how it's going?
Well, we've always talked about trying to get it onto YouTube somehow, and Emily has even invested a lot of time into pulling all of the story data down from Instagram and trying to form that into a video that then you could upload. But
they do not make easy for you.
Yeah.
That doesn't really work because it doesn't have the music. It doesn't have the effects. It doesn't really work the same way. And so that means if we really wanted to do YouTube stuff, recording in a different way, setting time aside to edit. And I do think that would be fun and worthwhile. But it would mean getting actually really serious about this instead of being like, hey, let's whip out our phones while we're playing games and just show us having fun.
Yeah. I mean, well, Ben also says that because he doesn't edit. So he doesn't have to do any of the afterwork. He's like, okay, I'm going to go paint downstairs. And usually when I have to work is I work at nap time and I work at bedtime.
Yep,
right.
Of course.
So that's my free time is work. So it would have to be during my... I don't know, extra. I don't have extra time. I don't know when it would be.
What is extra time?
Yeah,
right?
exactly. But I don't know. I think it would be fun to do some sort of, or extra things on YouTube. They don't even have to be long, big gameplay edits, but maybe extra things just as kind of a fun little thing.
Yeah, and I think the other thing would be maybe doing more gaming stuff together. We have our date nights. We talked about maybe trying to go to Gen Con this year.
That would be fun.
We go every year.
So
it's
fun.
the greatest time ever.
So many people have families that they take with them too.
I don't recommend that. But it is fun.
Leave your kids at home just to do it.
Leave your kids come.
I was asking Ben the other day if you can have alcohol there. That was
I don't know if you can do that in the vendor hall. But here's what we do.
I've also never had anybody check a backpack, sneak it in a drawstring backpack or something.
Yep. Well, what we do is we go to the vendor hall, which closes at 6, and then we have the whole night to drink, play games, hang out.
Yeah, so we get an Airbnb and we go with a bunch of us, and then we after the vendor hall, which we do buy all the games, we go back to the house and play them all.
Okay.
Yeah. It's so much fun. I mean, there's so much to do there outside of the vendor hall. But
our
that's
kids
kind of
are finally old enough where we could. Well, we also don't. I don't know about you guys, but we don't have any family nearby.
I see.
So it makes it very difficult to do anything. But I mean, the closest family is about 7 hours away.
Oh my gosh! Wow.
So if we want someone to come, babysit for a long weekend kind of scenario, it is you drive 7 hours and then hope they don't mind that scenario.
Right.
Yeah.
Have you guys done any local conventions? Have you been to a Grand Con or a Winter Con, Michigan, UConn, any of that stuff?
Yeah, Grand Con's in Grand Rapids. It's probably not too far.
See, that's something we could probably do. We have not done that, but once again, I feel like I am someone's bringing their Hallmark mother to the convention. And I'm like, well, that's a cute game, and everyone's like,
do it.
No.
There are so many different people, so many walks of life. Everyone is so friendly. Everybody smells really bad, and it's just really, really fun.
They're pumping in air. It's okay. It doesn't smell bad.
It only smells bad in certain rooms.
Yeah, I'm mostly just kidding. It's a great. It's so much fun. You guys should consider going to a convention.
And let us know if you do.
Yeah, we want to hang out with you. Be our friend. Like us, please.
Of course.
That sounds fantastic.
Well, you guys, thank you so much for coming on the show. We really appreciate you taking the time out of your busy lives to talk with us. Hopefully you haven't vomited too much, Emily, out of the sheer nervousness of it. But it would be great someday if we could all get together, maybe do a play date, have a game night. That'd be super fun.
We're not far at all, so definitely.
Yeah. So, that'd be great. Well, awesome, guys. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you for having us.
Yes, we had a blast. Well, there you have it. That was our interview with Ben and Emily. They are super awesome people. We are so happy to have gotten to know them a little bit more, and hopefully this will just turn into a great friendship. So thank you guys, everybody, for listening, and thank you, Ben and Emily, for doing the interview. And until next time, this has been the Gamecasters.